He denied his own son on live TV. But he never knew she held the secret that could destroy his entire empire. The television studio lights reflected perfectly against Julian Vance's expensive charcoal suit as millions of viewers watched him smile into the cameras with calm confidence. "I want to put these rumors to rest once and for all," he announced smoothly. "I am not married. I do not have a child. Any woman claiming otherwise is simply attempting to extort money from me." The world believed him instantly. After all, Julian Vance was America's favorite billionaire genius, the self-made tech king who had risen from poverty to unimaginable success before turning 35. Investors worshipped him. The media adored him. Women flooded his social media with declarations of love. Nobody questioned him. Nobody except the woman sitting frozen in a cramped apartment nearly 1,000 miles away. Elena's fingers trembled around a ceramic bowl as she stared at the television screen. Her breathing stopped completely. On the couch nearby, 6-year-old Leo looked up from his coloring book, confusion spreading slowly across his innocent face. "Mommy?" he asked softly. "That's Daddy on TV." Elena said nothing. "Why is Daddy saying he doesn't know us?" The bowl slipped from her hands and shattered across the kitchen floor. But Elena didn't even hear it. Because in that exact moment, 7 years of pain, sacrifice, humiliation, and heartbreak collapsed inside her all at once. And something dark rose from the ruins. Julian thought he had erased them forever. He had no idea she possessed the one thing capable of destroying his entire life before sunrise. Slowly, Elena walked toward the bedroom closet. She climbed onto a chair, reached for an old dusty shoebox hidden beneath folded blankets, and pulled out a sealed envelope. Inside it sat years of evidence. Photos. Voice recordings. Messages. Promises. And one final secret Julian never imagined she had obtained. A DNA test. Elena stared at the envelope for a long moment before whispering through clenched teeth. "You picked the wrong woman to betray." 7 years earlier, Julian Vance had been nobody. No private jets. No billion-dollar company. No magazine covers. Just a brilliant but broke software engineer surviving on instant noodles while sleeping on Elena's tiny apartment couch. Back then, they were inseparable. They stayed awake until morning dreaming about the future. Julian would code endlessly on his old laptop while Elena worked double shifts at a cafe to keep them afloat. When his anxiety overwhelmed him, Elena held him together. When he wanted to quit, Elena reminded him he was destined for greatness. And when Elena discovered she was pregnant, Julian cried harder than she did. He dropped to his knees, kissed her stomach repeatedly, and laughed through tears. "We're going to build a family," he whispered emotionally. "I swear I'll never leave you." For a while, Elena believed life was finally rewarding them. Then everything changed. A powerful venture capitalist discovered Julian's software prototype and offered him a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity in Silicon Valley. Millions of dollars. A luxury apartment. Connections to the biggest names in technology. Only one condition. He had to leave immediately. Elena still remembered standing by the apartment door while Julian packed his suitcase in frantic excitement. "It's only for 1 year," he promised, holding her face gently. "I'll build the company, stabilize everything, then I'll come back for you and the baby. We'll finally have the life we deserve. You promise?" Elena whispered nervously. Julian kissed her forehead softly. "With my life." That was the last truthful thing he ever told her. At first, Julian called constantly. Then occasionally. Then rarely. Eventually, he disappeared completely. His number changed. His assistants blocked her emails. His social media exploded with glamorous interviews, celebrity friendships, and photos beside models and investors. Meanwhile, Elena faced reality alone. She worked through pregnancy until her body nearly collapsed from exhaustion. She survived eviction notices by begging landlords for extra time. Some nights she skipped meals entirely so Leo could eat. When labor complications nearly killed her during childbirth, there was nobody beside her hospital bed except an exhausted nurse squeezing her hand. Julian never came. Not even once. Still, Elena never hated him completely. Not at first. Because somewhere deep inside her, she believed maybe fame had simply swallowed the man she loved. Maybe success changed people. Maybe he still cared secretly. So years later, for Leo's 6th birthday, Elena swallowed every ounce of pride left inside her and contacted Julian again. She didn't ask for money. Didn't ask for luxury. Didn't ask for revenge. Only one thing. Your son deserves to know his father. 3 days later, Julian denied them on live television. Publicly. Cruelly. Without hesitation. And that broke something inside Elena forever. The media storm exploded instantly. Reporters hunted her down. Social media labeled her a gold digger and liar. Strangers mocked Leo online. One afternoon Elena found her son crying alone in the bathroom after classmates repeated Julian's denial at school. "Your daddy said you're fake." That moment erased the last mercy inside her heart. Enough. If Julian wanted war, she would burn his entire kingdom to the ground. The following morning, Elena contacted one of New York's most feared family attorneys. When the lawyer asked if she had proof, Elena quietly slid the sealed envelope across the desk. The lawyer opened it slowly. Then looked up in stunned silence. Inside were years of text messages from Julian promising to come back for his family. There were private photos. Recorded phone calls. Bank transfers. And finally, a private DNA test Elena had secretly secured through one of Julian's former medical associates. The lawyer leaned back heavily. "My God," he whispered. "This could destroy him." Elena's expression never changed. Good. The lawsuit exploded across the nation within hours. News channels interrupted broadcasts to cover the scandal. Headlines dominated the internet. Billionaire CEO accused of abandoning secret son. Julian's legal team panicked immediately. Then came the settlement offer. $10 million. Full confidentiality. No public trial. No acknowledgement of Leo. Only silence. Elena stared at the contract briefly before ripping it into tiny pieces. She mailed the scraps back with a handwritten message. "I don't want your money. I want the truth." That letter became public. And suddenly public opinion began shifting. For the first time, people questioned Julian Vance. Investors grew nervous. His company stock began falling. Journalists started digging into his past. And hidden within Elena's evidence was something even worse than the DNA test. Something capable of destroying not only Julian's image, but his empire itself. The courtroom was packed on the day of the hearing. Reporters lined every wall. Outside, thousands gathered hoping to witness the fall of one of the richest men in America. Elena walked into court wearing a simple black dress and no makeup. She looked calm. Cold. Untouchable. Across the room sat Julian, surrounded by expensive lawyers and security personnel. For 7 years Elena imagined this moment countless times. But when their eyes finally met, she saw fear. Real fear. Julian looked away first. The judge entered moments later holding the official court-ordered DNA results. The room became suffocatingly silent. Then the judge spoke clearly. The DNA profile confirms with 99.9% certainty that Julian Vance is the biological father of Leo Vance. The courtroom erupted instantly. Cameras flashed aggressively. Reporters shouted questions. Outside, Julian's company stock began collapsing in real time. Millions vanished from his net worth within minutes. But the worst moment came seconds later. Because Elena's attorney submitted another folder to the judge. A second set of evidence. Evidence proving Julian secretly transferred money through offshore accounts for years to hide Elena and Leo from public discovery while misleading investors during major financial negotiations. The courtroom exploded again. Even Julian looked horrified. Because he realized someone inside his company had betrayed him. Someone close enough to expose everything. And when Julian slowly turned his head toward the gallery, he saw his own business partner staring back at him coldly. The same man who once helped him bury Elena. Now sacrificing Julian to save himself. By sunset, Julian Vance's empire was finished. His board demanded immediate resignation. Sponsors vanished. Investors abandoned him. Federal investigators launched financial inquiries. The media that once worshipped him now destroyed him mercilessly. But none of it hurt as much as hearing Leo ask one heartbreaking question during a televised interview days later. Did my daddy ever love me? That single sentence shattered Julian completely. For the first time in years, he stopped seeing himself as a billionaire genius. Instead, he saw the truth. A coward. A weak man who sacrificed the people who loved him most for power and public approval. And that realization destroyed him more completely than losing billions ever could. Soon after, Julian disappeared entirely from public life. Rumors spread endlessly. Rehab. Depression. Alcoholism. Therapy. Nobody knew the full truth. Elena didn't care anymore. She focused on rebuilding life for Leo. And slowly, over the next 3 years, she succeeded. They moved into a beautiful home in a quiet neighborhood. Leo became happier. Safer. Free from public humiliation. For the first time in years, peace entered their lives. Then one afternoon, a black town car parked quietly outside Elena's house. A stranger stepped out and handed her an envelope. Inside sat a small hand-carved wooden train. Carefully painted. Made by hand. Beneath it rested a letter. Elena. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I've spent the last 3 years trying to become someone Leo wouldn't hate. I've been sober for 2 years. I've been in therapy. I sold almost everything I owned because I finally realized none of it mattered. If Leo ever wants to see me, I'll wait for the rest of my life. I am deeply sorry for the monster I became. Elena sat silently at the kitchen table for a very long time. For years, hatred had fueled her survival. But now it simply felt exhausting. Heavy. Poisonous. Outside the window, Leo laughed while kicking a soccer ball across the yard. Healthy. Safe. Happy. She had protected him. She had won. But suddenly Elena realized something important. Holding on to the pain forever would only teach Leo to carry bitterness into his own future. Slowly, she picked up her phone. Her fingers hovered over Julian's number before finally pressing call. It rang twice. Elena? Julian answered breathlessly. Her voice remained calm and steady. Leo has a soccer game this Saturday at 10 in the morning. Silence. Then a broken sob. You may come, Elena continued. But you will sit in the back row. No cameras. No reporters. No headlines. This is for him, not for you. Julian could barely speak through tears. Thank you. Elena ended the call quietly. Then she looked out the window once more. For the first time in nearly a decade, the unbearable weight crushing her heart was finally gone. But neither Elena nor Julian realized that someone from Julian's destroyed empire had been watching them carefully from the shadows. And Leo was about to become the center of a revenge far more dangerous than either parent could imagine. Saturday morning arrived colder than expected. A pale golden sun stretched across the soccer field while parents filled the aluminum bleachers carrying coffee cups and folding chairs. Children ran across the grass laughing loudly, their cleats crunching against the frost-covered ground. Elena stood beside the fence with her arms folded tightly across her chest, pretending she wasn't nervous. But she was. Because after nearly 10 years of silence, betrayal, courtrooms, humiliation, and heartbreak, Julian Vance was about to see his son again. And she had no idea what that moment would do to any of them. Leo adjusted his jersey excitedly before running toward the field with the rest of his teammates. "Mom," he shouted happily. "Don't forget to record my goal this time." Elena forced a smile. "I won't." Then she saw him. Julian. Sitting exactly where she instructed him to sit. Back row. Far from the crowd. No bodyguards. No luxury suits. No cameras. No billionaire arrogance. Just a quiet man wearing a dark hoodie and jeans, gripping the edge of the bench so tightly his knuckles had turned white. For a moment, Elena barely recognized him. The confident tech mogul the world once worshipped was gone. This man looked thinner. Older. Haunted. Julian's eyes searched the field desperately until they finally landed on Leo. And the second he saw his son laughing, his entire face broke apart emotionally. He covered his mouth instantly as tears filled his eyes. Elena looked away sharply. Part of her wanted to hate him forever. But another part remembered the young man who once slept beside her on a broken couch dreaming about building a family. The referee's whistle blew loudly. The game began. Leo ran across the field with fearless energy, completely unaware that his father watched every movement like a starving man seeing sunlight for the first time in years. Every smile from Leo shattered Julian a little more. Because he suddenly understood exactly what he had missed. Birthdays. School plays. Bedtime stories. First steps. Nightmares. Christmas mornings. All gone forever. And no amount of money on earth could buy those moments back. Midway through the second half, Leo scored a goal. The crowd erupted into cheers. Leo turned instinctively toward the bleachers searching for Elena. But his eyes accidentally landed on Julian. The world seemed to stop. Father and son stared at each other across the field. Julian slowly stood to his feet, terrified. Leo frowned slightly. Something inside him recognized the face immediately. The same eyes. The same smile. The same man from old photographs hidden in Elena's drawers. The same man from television. Julian's lips trembled. "Hi, Leo." The little boy said nothing at first. Then quietly, "You came." Julian looked seconds away from collapsing emotionally. "Yes," he whispered. "I came." Before either of them could speak again, Elena suddenly noticed something strange near the parking lot. A black SUV. Tinted windows. Engine still running. Her stomach tightened instantly. Because she recognized the man standing beside it. Marcus Kane. Julian's former business partner. The same man who betrayed Julian during the court scandal. The same man federal investigators failed to locate after millions disappeared from company accounts. And he was staring directly at Leo. Elena's blood turned cold. Julian noticed her expression immediately. "What's wrong?" Before Elena could answer, Marcus smiled faintly from across the parking lot. Then he lifted his phone slowly and took a picture of Leo. Julian's entire body stiffened. "No." Marcus opened the SUV door calmly and climbed inside. The vehicle sped away. Julian instantly jumped down the bleachers. "Elena, listen to me carefully," he said urgently. "We need to leave. Right now." "What does he want?" Elena demanded. Julian's face turned pale. "When my company collapsed, Marcus lost everything too. But unlike me, he blamed Leo." Elena stared at him in disbelief. "What are you talking about?" Julian lowered his voice. "Marcus believed exposing the truth destroyed our empire. He told me once that if Leo had never existed, none of this would have happened." Fear crawled down Elena's spine. "You think he'll hurt him?" Julian's silence answered the question. Suddenly Leo came running toward them excitedly. "Mom! Did you see my—" Julian grabbed him instinctively. Too instinctively. Leo froze awkwardly inside his father's arms. Julian realized what he'd done and immediately stepped back. "I'm sorry," he whispered emotionally. But Leo looked up curiously. Then something unexpected happened. The little boy hugged him first. A tiny, hesitant hug. But enough to completely destroy Julian emotionally. Tears poured down his face instantly. Elena watched silently, her own chest tightening painfully. For years she imagined revenge would heal her. But standing there now, watching a broken father hold the son he once denied, revenge suddenly felt empty. Then Elena's phone vibrated violently. Unknown number. She answered cautiously. A distorted voice spoke softly through the speaker. "You should have left the past buried, Elena." Her blood froze. "If I can find your son." The line crackled. "So can other people." The call ended. Elena slowly lowered the phone. Julian saw the terror in her eyes immediately. "What did he say?" Before she could answer, a loud explosion thundered across the parking lot. Everyone screamed. Flames erupted from Julian's rental car. Parents grabbed their children in panic. Smoke filled the air. And standing beside the burning vehicle, barely visible through the chaos, was a man wearing black gloves and a dark hood. Watching them. Smiling. Then he disappeared into the crowd. Leo clung tightly to Elena in fear. Julian stepped in front of both of them protectively for the first time in his life. And in that terrifying moment, Elena realized something she never thought possible. The man who once destroyed their family might now be the only person capable of saving it.